This video is part 4 of row Minefield, and it's going to be on the mine dump. The mine dump is the location near the minefield, or the area where the minefields is going to be at if you're going to have the same dump supply multiple minefields. Where the mines are going to be pulled out of the crates, they're going to be uncrated, they're going to be inspected, potentially fused at that time, or it's possible they may not be fused, and then they'll be divided up into packs or areas for each minefield, and then divided up into each row. Now, for right now, we have the minefield that this mine dump is going to supply has 3 rows in it, in Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie. So we'll have the first batch will be for our Alpha, the second for our Bravo, and our third Charlie. Now what you're going to do, you're going to have in there all the mines required for that row, plus a small number for extra for in case there's problems when trying to arm the mines out in the minefield. So you'll lay them out typically in a box pattern. So right now I got these two are set up for 42, and our Bravo row is a lazy W. Well, we say that's got 56 in it. So we'll go by 6 across on the ground, and then 7 deep on both of these. And then here we have it 7 across on the ground, and then 8 deep. And there'll be 1 mine in each location. The mine dump is, according to doctrine, supposed to be run by the platoon sergeant. He will draw the troops he needs from the platoon. They will be the excess who are not needed at whatever task their squad is assigned. Typically the mine dump had 3 or 4 troops assigned to it, from what I remember. And then for us, because we were usually under strength, it was usually our assault and obstacle, or A&O platoon, that supplied the personnel for running the mine dump. But the squad would come up. The squad leader would let the NCOIC, the non-commissioned officer in charge, know which minefield he's going to and which row he's there to pick up. On the ground, you'll have your grids of mines, and they should be marked. There should be some type of sign or sheet of paper, you know, being held down by one of the mines down on the ground, and it'll say that, hey, I'm part of minefield 1, I'm Alpha row, and then so on and so forth. So the NCOIC will direct them to the correct location. The squad vehicle then pulls up to that location. The squad leader confirms that yes, this is the batch going to the correct minefield. They then start loading up the vehicle. The troops that are part of the mine dump help pass the mines to the squad as they lay the mines out either in the vehicle or in the trailer, or potentially both. If you're doing a Alpha row with an IOE, you're probably going to want a vehicle with a trailer, and then say your mines for the row are inside the truck or the APC, and then the ones for the IOE are going to be in the trailer. You know, separate them out accordingly. Now, if you have a IOE as part of your Alpha, you might have right next to your Alpha pack here, you might have one that's marked as a IOE pack, and then you'll load up the appropriate numbers of mines and so forth. As the mines are getting loaded, the squad leader confirms he's getting the correct number of mines required for that row according to the information he was given by the platoon leader. He will also be handed off a sandbag if the mines are already fused. If the mines are not fused, he will be passed a box a crate that will have the fuses in them, or a couple crates depending on the number of fuses and the size of them. And that gets put inside the vehicle also, or inside the trailer depending on which row it's for. Like I said, if you got your alpha row in here, well, the box with the fuses for the alpha row would go in here. If you got your IOE here, that gets loaded in a trailer. Well, the box with the fuses for the IOE gets put inside the trailer. Once everything's loaded up, it's confirmed, you've signed off that you picked it up, the squad vehicle then moves out to the minefield and they go start putting in their row. Now, I mentioned that the fuses may or may not be inside the mines when you pick them up. That is really something that's going to be terrain dependent, because I've done it both ways. When we were in the desert, because the terrain for the most part was flat, there was not a lot of bumps and stuff in it between the mine dump and the minefield, the mines would be fused at the mine dump. If the ground is really rolling, there's a lot of little potholes, there's little ditches and whatnot that has to be crossed between the mine dump and the minefield, you may not fuse the mines at the mine dump. They may get fused out on the minefield. If that's the case, then you'll get the box with fuses with them when you draw the mines. It's you always want to be overly cautious, overly safe when you're putting in mines. So that'll be something to consider, and I will repeat that when I go over the platoon drill. Now, for all my engineer brothers in the Patriot and Militia movements, always remember, essayons.